What's going on, everyone? My name's Anton, and today I'm going to be unboxing the Sundown Audio $150 package from the yard sale. This package is meant to be used for the $150 challenge that Taylor Fade and Skip01 is basically putting on for everyone. That challenge basically means spend $150 on amplifier and subwoofer and get as loud as you possibly can. I don't think my van's going to be legal for it because it's a wall, but I'm just going to go after it and see where they put me. There's the Sundown SFB right there. This guy, so on the box they claim 1410 RMS at 1 ohm. I'm pretty sure Jacob corrected that in a post that I seen that basically said whatever the model number is, that's the 1 ohm rating. I haven't really looked at any other boxes of the SFBs that I can recall that is incorrect on that, but I just wanted to mention that if you get one of these and you see the ratings are kind of skewed like this, I think these are true. I think you will actually get this power, but just know that the actual official ratings are around 1,000 watts at 1 ohm, which would make it 500 at 2 ohm and 250 at 4 ohm. But like I said, these amplifiers are monsters, so I wouldn't doubt it if this 2 ohm and 4 ohm rating are actually correct. There's the E12. It's a dual 2, so they set this up so that way basically you can run this amplifier at 1 ohm. Even wrote it on there, 150 challenge. Lots of people are buying these, not wanting to compete in the challenge. Now you got a little tag on there that says 150 challenge. I don't know if I've ever done an unboxing on an E12 before, so we'll just kind of go through it. They got the markings on the motor, which is really nice. They also stamp the yard sale stuff with some sort of a stamp that basically signifies, you know, hey, this is a yard sale item. One really cool thing that I'm starting to notice with all of these Sundown audio subwoofers is they started putting all the series numbers and revisions on the motor, and pretty much almost every motor in their line is now bolted together, which basically means that the motors themselves have a much harder time of actually shifting. And I have a motor over there that I can show you that is a shifted motor, but basically what it does is it links the top plate and bottom plate together by bolts, and it doesn't just rely on the glue. So this plate and this plate is what I'm talking about. Most of the time the top plate shifts over, misaligning it and then locking the coil up. These E-series are actually really awesome for the price. I think normal price on these non-yard sale is like 150 bucks. I'll have to look that up and verify, but smoking deal for what you get. This is a 500 RMS driver, like really awesome. For reference, the old Type R's were 500 to 600 RMS drivers. Oh yeah, nice and loose. This thing is gonna fly off that power. Oh, that's gonna be great. I cannot wait to get this going. So they're bolted together on the spiders as well. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's kind of a bolt there. And they have pretty standard leads. I mean, these are a stripped down version of the SA without the size of the motor, if you kind of think of it that way. Got the stamped basket, has the I want to say that they're 8 gauge, but they're probably not. They're probably 12 gauge terminals and all that good stuff. So far, I'm not seeing the defect. Usually when these things come out of the yard sale, you see something like a terminal's busted, or you know, the solder's just not quite right. But this, I'm not seeing it. Trying to see if the basket might be bent or something, but which maybe, no, that's just the gasket. I mean, for anybody who's curious about the yard sale stuff, you can get a great deal on some really, really good products from the yard sale. All right, let's open this amp up. This is what I'm mostly excited about in this package, because I'm going to be able to use this amplifier pretty much in any setup that I would want. Like, I could even put it on a test bench if I felt like it. But the reason why I say I can use this pretty much in whatever I want is the size of this thing. I mean, like, come on. I don't know if you can tell, but that is puny. And in my SFB1000 video, I stated that there's an input and an output. I will actually be able to test this now to see if these make any changes in actual output by plugging them both in. I'll take this backboard off and we will look at it as well. So on the SFB1000, you get a high pass and a low pass filter. For those of you that are confused, the high pass filter is your subsonic filter. Basically, when there's anything high and low like this, you got to think of it as high notes are passed beyond this, low notes are passed below this. So that's kind of the little trick there. It's got your gain, and it's got a level. I'm assuming level is bass boost. So, get rid of that. There's no manual for this, so it doesn't tell you what frequency this bass boost is at, but I'm assuming it's at 45 hertz like everything else. The variable bass boost is what's important for like factory integration and stuff like that. A fixed bass boost, pointless. Well, not necessarily pointless, but pretty pointless. It's got a power clip and a protect light. Allen head screws, so that's different from their Korean amplifiers. They typically have, Sundown typically uses Phillips head screws. And again, on here he wrote the $150 challenge. This will come off with some acetone, but I really don't care. I'm just going to leave it on there. And again, you know, I'm not necessarily seeing any kind of actual defect. I mean, they marked it there again. You know, D, so defective. So there must be something wrong with it somewhere. I am noticing there's no bass knob, but that's probably, they probably just needed one for something else to send to a customer. Really neat thing here is that they send you the Allen keys too, so I don't got to go searching for my Allen keys. That's really nice. And then they send you some mounting screws, which I'll probably never use. This is really cool. I love the size of this. And I've seen the dynos. The dynos are fantastic. They do well overrated power. Go check those out over on Derek's channel, Sundown Audio Unofficial. You know what? Let's just open up this back plate and let's take a look at it. So one thing that you guys are going to be surprised about is that there's going to be like next to no guts in here. That's just the Brazilian / full bridge style. And I really shouldn't say Brazilian. It's just the Brazilians are the ones that took hold of it and started making it popular, I suppose. These are built in China. Don't get that twisted. But people call them Brazilian amplifiers because typically a Brazilian company is what doesn't necessarily manufacture them. They're the ones that actually just started distributing them. So there's your insides. Like I said, not much to it. I mean, it's pretty pretty basic in there. These, so like a couple things that like cheap out amplifiers, right? So like in my opinion, these type of terminals cheap out an amplifier. It is still a Tiffany connector, so that's actually kind of nice. But because it bolts onto the end plate. But when they're rigid, you know, hard lines like this, to me, it creates an opportunity for failure. So looking at this, it does seem as if this is a parallel block, which means that these two terminals are identical terminals. So this input and output is kind of deceiving. So like if I were to ohm this out and this out, it would be connected, and the inside and inside would be connected. So this is essentially a splitter on the inside of the amplifier. But I'll confirm that when I actually get it in the van and actually get testing it. If you guys have any questions about this amplifier, let me know, because when I start actually testing it and going through all of the paces with it, I'll be able to answer some of those questions. So this is something that my amp repair guy mentioned to me one time, was that a lot of these companies, they don't put this silicone underneath these. And what that does is it creates a really weak point. And these typically, the legs typically break off of it because there's no vibration isolation, and these are sticking up so high. And he says if you ever get an amplifier that doesn't have silicone underneath these, to put silicone underneath them, because it will save the amplifier most of the time. Alright, let's get this put back together. So again, I kind of just want to emphasize the size of this. I mean, look at how small this amp is. It'll literally fit inside the cone of a 12-inch subwoofer. That's a 1,000 watt amplifier. And in all reality, it's probably technically a 1,200 watt amplifier or more, because, you know, like I said, the box says 1,400, and I'm pretty sure that the dyno actually showed that. What's crazy to me is how small it is and how many speaker outputs that they give you. I'm kind of shocked by that. I'm surprised they didn't just give you two, in all honesty, because especially 8-gauge terminals. Typically 12 gauge would be all you would need for this. But yeah, if you ever go to buy an item of Sundown's and you see like a B on it, a D, a Y, a whatever, stamped kind of in a corner or on the motor, see that right there? Make sure that you compare the prices properly then, because if somebody's selling a defective item or a B stock item for like new, or for inflated price beyond the price that you can get a B stock or a refurbished or whatever, then you should probably evaluate that and make them come down on the price for you. It says that it was QC passed, you know, China's QC pass, so obviously Sundown's QC pass is much, much more rigorous. I just love how tiny this thing is, like literally so small. Like, you could put this anywhere, underneath a seat, behind a seat. You could mount this probably in a dash behind the radio. I mean, there's so many options for this. This is slick. And the other really cool part about these SFB amplifiers is that they're actually full range. So you can use this amplifier. You know, it's obviously a one channel, but if you bought two of these, you could use them as a left and a right for your doors, which is really, really slick. I was gonna say full bridge. Full range amplifiers are becoming the hot thing, you know, doing mono full range. And the reason for that is so that way you can put one SFB per door or per tweeter or whatever, and you can have much more power to your speakers. All right, guys, make sure that you stay tuned to my channel, subscribe, like this video, all that good stuff. I am going to be competing in this $150 challenge. Comment down below on this video if you want me to shoot some videos of me actually building the setup, like the sealed chamber and all that stuff that I'm going to be doing for this subwoofer. And also comment down below if you want me to walk you through a little bit of my design process for that. Like usual, have yourself a great day, guys. Usually get like a little mohawk after wearing the headband thing.